Morning, 816.
Yup.
And 913.
913 hometown in the building. What's good?
Yes. Columbus Short, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing better. I've been watching you for many years from Stomp the Yard. Then when you got on Scandal, I was like, this is a 100% glow up. Yes. You're a good actor.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So what's been going on?
I've been mounting this white horse called comeback. I've been taking it really seriously because Scandal was so big that the fall is long and hard, but it was what was needed, I think, for me to take not only my life, but, what God has called me to be to the next level. And I think it's big because coming from Kansas City, Missouri, as you know, a lot of people don't even get out. So, I felt that.
Wait, you from here?
I've always felt that. Yeah, from Kansas City.
Get out of here. I didn't know that.
What high school you go to?
I moved to L.A. when I was like 5. Came back Christmas, spent the whole summers, all my summers there. My grandma grew up right there, 36 in Garfield.
Oh, okay, 64130.
Yep, so carrying that, all of Kansas City, my family looking at me. I wanted to make these people proud, and it was a tough situation. But then there was a moment where I was so angry because I felt like I was lied on and false allegations. But then I didn't even handle it right. And by the time I was so emotionally, mentally drained, I had bankrupt emotionally. Couldn't even fight back the way that I should have. And by the time it was already over, it was like the house was burned down, the house that I built. But you know what? That wasn't the house I was supposed to live in. And so, there came a point where I was like, what am I going to do? And how do I right this ship so I can get back to doing what I love to do, what I'm bred to do, what I'm trained to do. And I started writing. I started with this book. One of the things that was, all of these executives and things, you got to clean up your image. You got to get it. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I just started writing this book. It's like the only way I'm going to do it, I've just got to tell the truth. I started putting it on the page, and it was healing. It was more like the man Columbus writing for the child Columbus. There's that anxiety of the man throwing it out here to the wolves, and it's out there now. And I'm grateful of the reception. I'm grateful that it could have been taken and devoured in a negative way, but it was taken, and I feel like the readers or the ones that have purchased the book have made it feel like a safe place to tell my story. So I appreciate that.
The book you're referring to is the Autobiography of Columbus Short. Now, you just surprised us with this, you being from Kansas City, Missouri, because we didn't know that.
That's all in the book, man. There's a lot of gems. There's a lot of coal, some dark, nasty, old, nasty rocks, but there's a lot of gems. And there's a lot of showing that I'm fallible, right? Like, and if anything people can take away from it is clean your closets. I keep saying this, but just clean your closets. Meaning people, especially us as black people, black men and women, we don't do the work on ourselves. We don't sit down with therapists or psychologists to figure out what's going on. We don't we got shoes in our closet from since we ain't worn since we were 7 years old. Clean that stuff out. That takes time. That takes the ugly work. We carry trauma from childhood, like, multiple traumas, and we just keep it pushing. Y'all know that we from Kansas City. Like, we keep pushing through life no matter what hits us, and then sometimes in that moment, it all rears its ugly head. So it's best to just clean out all that stuff. And I think this process was that, so that we can make room for new, wonderful, amazing blessings, new, wonderful things.
This is a very insightful interview. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting to, keep it kind of light and laugh about choreography with Britney Spears and some of the other things that you've done. But you are a man that's on the other side of a lot of hurt, is what it sounds like. What was the final thing that made you decide, hey, look, I've got to make some changes. I've got to do something different?
I was tired of waking up and feeling like not myself, drinking every day, just because I was depressed. I was like, what am I doing? This is whack. This is not me. And that was the day that I was like, all right, God called me. And I literally feel like, I don't know what people believe in, but the Bible says many are called, but few are chosen. And I feel like I was chosen, not only called, but chosen. And he put me in a position of greatness and put me in a position of stature to be a leader, to be an example, and to just end it in just such a, like, what, that's how I was going to leave my legacy. I was like, I'm not doing it like that.
How has Hollywood been receiving you as you're trying to make your foray back into what you're called to do?
It's been an interesting thing. I was having a conversation with one executive, and I'm like, what's the difference between me, Robert Downey Jr., or Joaquin Phoenix? Robert Downey Jr., like, come on, you know his backstory. And he started laughing. He was like, you're black. And I'm like, exactly. And that's, so let's change that narrative. And he's like, well, you're the one changing it right now. I've been changing the narrative. When you walk in these offices, they see, they look at you in your face and they can tell if you're on the right space in the right place. My resilience and my tenure in the game, I earned and garnered a lot of respect, lost respect, but earned a lot of it. And so in the rebuilding of those burned down bridges, I wanted to earn the respect of who I was as a man. That was another reason I wrote this book, and I think that's all part of the comeback. And I think I'm just grateful for the opportunities. I got 2 movies coming out now. I'm producing, I'm show running a series for a network as we speak. It's kind of like I came back and I've graduated to a showrunner, to a filmmaker, to a job creator. And God's put me in a different station, and I'm just blessed and grateful to be here.
Were there any of your former co-stars or friends in Hollywood that was 10 toes down with you during this process that you just appreciated for being there with you the long way? I
talk about them in the book. Lawrence Fishburne, Zoe Saldana, Neo, for real, Neo. Solid. I wouldn't say everybody, but the handful. I know who they are now because of this season. You see who's 10 toes down. And, and no knock on anybody else. Like now, I get it. Because there's a couple people that you guys are dragging in public that are going through it. And I'm like, I can't necessarily be around you right now. You know what I mean?
Right. I can't get nothing on me right now. Okay?
No, I can't be associated with you right now, but I love you, brother. You know what I mean? So I get it.
You got an inspiring story. It's all in your Autobiography of Columbus Short. That book is available everywhere where books are sold. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And if you need us to send you some Sweet and Mild Gate sauce, I got you, dog.
I'm about to be there next month, so I'm going to grab it.
Oh, really? Okay, well, can I get a book signed at all?
Yeah, I'll stop by, definitely.
Please do, seriously.